Bye, my love.
No, not haters. Just
Okay.
wish you would print facts.
So the documentation I get from the city of Hubbard is not proof? It's not facts?
You haven't proven it. You haven't posted
It's proof.
it.
It's just you're not smart enough to read it. I got you. No, obviously not. I put a link to it. If you don't read and you don't click on the link and go to the files, I can't help that. If you refuse to read, I can't comprehend it. I can't comprehend it for you, ma'am. No, because you over here bashing me in another way, saying it's not factual.
I didn't say you were uneducated.
You said I'm not factual, that I'm a liar. Who are you?
Opinions.
No, they're not opinions. They are facts, backed by documentation from the city.
You call everybody bootlickers.
Well, that's because you are. And look where you're standing, next to the cop. Just get on your knees, lick the boot.
Sorry. God dang.
Just get over there and lick his boots, because he can't do nothing wrong.
Sorry.
Just like the guy
So
that's
you
in
want
here.
to call me a bootlicker because I'm standing right there?
No, it's because your attitude, and then you go stand over
My
there.
attitude?
Yes, ma'am. All right, Jason. Hey, it's a pleasure meeting you again.
Absolutely.
Got any comment about that Lake One deal?
Not right now, but I'd be more happy to sit down with you. So,
Well, we've been trying for weeks.
no, you haven't.
Tyranny, corruption, extortion. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. BZ Watchdog News Network.
All right, folks, here we go again. On March 17th of 2026, the city of Hubbard decided to put on another masterpiece of small-town government theater. This time, they actually put an ordinance on the agenda to try to address something the state of Texas has already addressed. And from where I'm standing, it looks an awful lot like an attempt to create a deterrent for somebody like me, an independent journalist, from filing open records requests and uncovering whatever it is they don't want uncovered. Because that's how this works, right? When public officials get uncomfortable, they don't suddenly become transparent. They don't come clean. They don't say, hey, let's answer the public's questions. No, they start playing word games, hiding behind lawyers, and pretending the law says something it does not say. So naturally, I made an appearance. And I didn't come there just to sit quietly and watch the circus. I spoke on the ordinance. I pushed back on the legal spin their attorney was trying to feed the council. I brought up issues like the Lake One deal, and I made it very clear that just because a city lawyer says something with confidence does not magically make it lawful, accurate, or honest. And because this is Hubbard, Texas, apparently basic accountability always comes with a side of attitude. There was also a little confrontation with some rude people who thought they were going to mouth off and somehow not get checked. Now, anybody who's been watching this channel already knows I do not tolerate rude bullies. I do not roll over. And I do not mind matching energy when somebody wants to get smart. So before we get into this council meeting clown show, smash that like button, drop a comment, and share this video everywhere. My comments are right at the beginning, and that confrontation is at the end. So stay all the way to the end. Because when local government starts scrambling this hard over records, questions, and public scrutiny, that usually means somebody's nervous. And when they get nervous, that's exactly when you need BZ Watchdog paying attention.
First up, we have got our, on the agenda, and we have BZ Watchdog to speak.
Oh yeah, I made it. Here I am, in the flesh and blood. The maniac has made it to Hubbard. I'm not far, actually. I've been coming in and out of town every day. Nobody knows I'm actually here. But I want to address a few things. Your social media policy says that you should not be going to Facebook and kind of bad-mouthing, citizens or your town. Jason Patrick has done that. I've got screenshots of that. Simone Johnson has commented on his post. I've got screenshots of that. I screenshot everything y'all do. Just want to let y'all know that. Just because I'm not always here doesn't mean I know exactly what's going on or what's not going on. And I want to address the item. Hey, I work as a news network, media outlet. Supreme Court has ruled what I do is protected under that. So you trying to pass an ordinance thinking you're going to be able to charge me? It's First Amendment retaliation, Jason. You're opening the city of Hubbard up to a civil litigation suit filed by me. And I'm ready to take that action if you want to pass the ordinance tonight. I would suggest you guys table it, speak with your attorneys, and go that route. That's the smartest route to do tonight. If that's what you guys want to do and keep passing it, I'll be more than happy to file in the morning. I've got a legal team out of Fort Worth that'll come down here and hammer you guys. We'll bleed you dry. The only problem is you guys keep getting money stolen, $235,000, because I want to move on to Chrissa. According to the Texas Ranger investigation I got, she only started stealing after 2021. Money's been missing since 2018 because I've got those financials. I don't know if Mr. Allman, CPA, is the same gentleman that warned you guys year after year after year for those first 3 years, and you guys ignored it. It's actually his responsibility, since he's the city administrator, to fix it. So you guys, all the problems you got, me included being here, got that man to blame. And all the other stuff I found along the way actually implicates a few more of you. I haven't put that out yet. I've got a lot of records, so we're just going to keep disseminating it out to the public. We'll let these folks out here determine whether, you know, they want you guys here, because they can vote you out. Let's see, how much more time I got, Mayor?
You have a little less than 2 minutes, or about 2 minutes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I don't go over. I want to respect my time. Let's go back to the Lake One project. That deal is so illegal with the inside discussion, him sitting on the school board with Cody Weatherby under false pretenses of B&L construction. B&L has nothing to do with Gnarly, has nothing to do with WR Utilities. And their business was formed the day after the sealed bids went in. So how could they possibly buy and put a bid in when bids were sealed and done? The deadline was past due. The only problem with that other conflict of interest, I'm going to drop the bombshell now. John Jarvis Murphy, your nephew, is one of those owners. Oh, that really stinks. I don't know how that even passed. What about the WR utility bids that was awarded to, again, Cody Weatherby with a lower bidder? He didn't even bid the same stuff as everyone else. I've got all... How much more time I got?
About 1 minute, 20 seconds.
Okay, I got enough. So I'm actually currently looking into 3-letter alphabet federal government entity to come and investigate, because you guys have violated your federal grants. There's a lot of stuff on that. The lawyer in the room, the CPA, whoever's in the room listening to this, I would suggest go and look at the documents. I would tuck, till, and burn as fast as you can, because this place is about to go down, and anybody signing off on stuff is probably going to go down with the ship as well. Are we all lining up because we're fixing to jump on me, or are we just kind of sitting here listening? I'm just wondering, because I have that effect on most people. What's that?
Get on with it.
It's my 5 minutes.
46 seconds.
46 minutes. Let me speak, please. If you don't like the First Amendment, go to China or North Korea. Why don't you shut up and stop interrupting me before I have the mayor throw you out? Rules of decorum, buddy. After my time is up, you can do whatever you want. But in the meantime, shut up and let me listen. Let me talk. All right? Got it? Good. Anyways, Mayor, how much time I got left?
23 seconds.
23 seconds. So I just suggest that you guys do the right thing. Table this for right now, and there's more to come. And I'm pretty sure I got about 8 seconds left. But I'll give it to him, since he likes to take up most of my time anyways. But go on. I'm done.
Okay, now we're gonna go into our agenda item, and it's item 1, Gary Garner. It's to discuss proposal on increasing inspection fees and adding cost of mileage. Consider and act on proposal. I do not see Mr. Garner in the room.
Yes. So Gary is Gary is our contracted inspector that we utilize. And
Would y'all like to come in and sit down? I'm sorry, Jason. Would y'all like to come in and sit down? I'm sorry, I'm just one. There's no sense in y'all standing up.
Thank you.
So he has, he's been with us for several years, and he usually charges $80 per inspection, due to insurance costs and everything that, for him to keep his license in order and everything, he is asking for an increase to $100 per inspection. And he'll also be adding 66 cents for a mileage fee to be added per the state of Texas.
Okay,
Has he not been charging us any money?
No, sir. No, sir, not prior to.
do we have any discussion on that? Is that about the standard inspection, all right?
That's what our current one's charging.
Say that again, bro.
So that's what our current inspector is open to. So.
Up in the rates too. Do we have any discussion? Do we have any talk about if we wanna do this? What y'all,
I could speed car.
You know about how many times he came over here for inspections in the past year?
It's probably close to 100. He stays pretty busy with all the expansion and growth and remodels, and houses have been purchased and renovated and using pretty regularly.
He's certified to do the electrical and
Oh,
plumbing
yes, sir.
and everything.
Yeah, he's certified from top to bottom.
he's been doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm. He's
Well,
actually,
yeah.
he
Yeah.
retired from City of Waco.
Mhm. I mean, everything is going up, but it's up to y'all, I mean, whatever y'all wanna do on it.
Which of course, him going up, the city will have to work.
On inspection fees, which that'll be another time. I need a motion if that's what y'all wanna do. Do we have any more discussion?
So ours was pretty reasonable.
Ours is, it's probably pretty reasonable considering other parts of the country. No, it's lower than most.
Way lower.
It's way lower than most, yes.
Yeah, 'cause we don't have.
No. I don't think it's a bad rate, it's just whatever y'all wanna do, I'll need a motion if y'all wanna accept it.
I'll make a motion to, increase inspection fees and then cost of the mileage to Gary Gardner's, inspection.
I'll second it.
A motion was made by Wayne Taylor and seconded by Simone Johnson, to accept Gary Garner's increase to $100 per inspection, and then a 66.6 mileage fee to be added. All in favor, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Our next agenda item is item 2. It's to discuss, to consider an act on the 2024-2025 audit. Donald Allman had an emergency, so we're gonna need a motion to table that discussion. He just called us and he cannot be here tonight, and he wants to be here, so I need a motion for somebody to table that.
I make a motion, we, table Donald Allman CPA to discuss the 2024-2025 audit.
Second.
A motion, was made by Roger Lynch and seconded by Wayne Taylor to table agenda item 2, Donald Allman CPA, about the 2024-2025 audit. All in favor of tabling, please signify by raising the right hands. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. We're gonna about consider an act on the ordinance for charging and requiring prior payment before the city responds to certain requests. We have our city attorney, Neil Purple, here to talk to us before this.
Yeah, so what this is this is just part of the, Public Records Act. It's specifically out of the, Texas Government Code. It's only an extension of what the city can charge. Normally it's 50 pages, you've got to have 50 pages or more. But this is a deal that the legislature passed in the government code that allows the cities, they have to keep records of what everyone sends in with certain, there's a few exceptions. And once they get to a certain amount of hours, which is a minimum amount the city sets, and the city here, we went with the minimum amount that is required by the AG's office, which is, I think, 36. And it just allows you to charge for your time that your employees use once the certain people or entities meet that 36-hour requirement. And it's specifically out of the government code. I see nothing wrong with this, and cities are doing it all over the state. Are there any questions?
I do have a question.
Sure.
So, you're saying that it has to be over a certain number of pages?
Well, so if, even before, without this, so the Open Records Act has certain requirements that if you get to 50 pages, you don't need, this is an additional thing.
Right.
So even if you don't pass this thing tonight, if there's an open records request for more than 50 pages, you can charge them for the copies, the time, the effort, and that's all set in the Texas Administrative Code by the AG's office. I think it's $15 an hour, it's so much per page, I think it's 10 cents per page after 50, or I don't know if it does after 50 or the whole 50. But this gives you another mechanism, so if you spend 36 hours, after then, it doesn't have to hit that 50-page limit, and it just keeps rolling. I mean, cities are doing it. City of Waco did it, I know. I know other cities have done it. It's kind of a normal thing, just so that the city and the taxpayers aren't having to pay for all the expense of these open records requests.
So, in essence, for them to be able to do their other job?
Right.
What you're saying?
Yes.
We can't take discussions from them. Is it on the agenda? That's only for, okay, so are there any exceptions to that rule?
Yeah, there are some exceptions if you're news media,
Okay.
and if you're FCC regulated entity.
Okay.
And so even if you pass this, until it applies to someone, there's no standing to bring an action because they've not been harmed by it. And so it's a deal where if you use the extreme example, if a professor at Baylor starts making extra requests, they are exempted because of their status as a professor. Just like if the Waco Trib was making a bunch of requests, they're clearly exempted.
Okay.
And so that's where it works. It gets more gray the farther out. Now, if I'm just an individual and I start making requests, you're clearly not exempted. And so there's gray area in there, but that's how the statute works.
Do they have to show any, just like the press, or do they have to show any legitimate, I'm just asking.
Okay, so it depends on how, you have to go to the definitions, and to tell the truth, I have not studied the FCC definition of some of these things, because that's one of the exceptions. The others is if you are a regulated news media,
Okay.
and so stuff like that, and that's kind of how it works.
And I'm just trying to cover all bases for us. I wanna know every question, I'm just trying to cover all the bases. I'm just asking questions because we don't wanna be in violation of anything. We're transparent and wanna keep our transparency as far as this is concerned. So, I need some discussion on this.
This is legal. This will pass legal.
Well, I can't say
Or
it's gonna
should
pass,
pass
it
legal.
depends on how you apply it. Now, the statute of, y'all passing this ordinance completely is legal, because it's just like if you pass a law, but I don't have what's called standing to enforce it, it doesn't matter. But the statute alone, the ordinance, I keep saying statute, this has been promulgated by the Texas legislature. So if you
The
follow-
ordinance is legal, but there are exemptions to the ordinance.
Right,
That's what you're
and
saying.
these are in the deal. It's verbatim out of the Texas government code.
This is set up to protect the public's tax dollars being wasted on trivial questions.
Right, and repetitive.
Okay.
Are we getting a lot of the same stuff? I mean, or is it?
So particularly, we, we've always received, FOIAs and, reference to the city business and this, that, and other, but here recently, it's been pretty much overwhelming. So.
Looks like it's getting personal more than.
Absolutely.
business wise?
We just have to make sure that we are within our legal rights. That's, I'm not gonna endanger the city to anything. So we've got to, if we do this, we've got to do it to the letter of the law. So I'm just saying,
If I could just interject,
we can't allow.
it's on the agenda, so as an
It's
agenda
okay
item.
to speak, but can the public speak?
I'm tired of seeing our money wasted
Okay,
on trivial.
I'll give you 2 minutes. Is
I
that fair enough?
I don't need a whole lot to
Okay.
go on that. I just want to let you know the Supreme Court has ruled what I do protected, like he's saying profession wise. He wants to keep going back to FCC. He needs to do more research on the law stuff. Okay. That's why I'm trying to prevent you from getting into trouble with that, because most of what he said, yeah, it's accurate, but there's some gray stuff that he needs to go back and do some research, and that's fine.
And
That's
I wasn't trying to be
No,
difficult with you.
no,
You-
I'm
you
not.
You heard what I was asking.
I understand that, and I know this is an agenda item. I just was trying to give you the courtesy
Okay, right.
because you're running the
Right.
show up here.
Right.
I'm trying to be respectful to you.
Right, and I was trying to, in a roundabout way, answer your
Absolutely.
question. So
My thing is,
yeah.
as an independent journalist, as you see, she's recording and writing notes.
Right.
Even, I don't know if she's with NAVCO or somebody else, or if she's independent on her own, but she also qualifies as an independent journalist. This is how we make our livelihood. It's actually in that statute that is written that if most of my livelihood, which actually all my livelihood comes from this, that I'm a individual independent journalist that is protected from that statute and that ordinance. Now, I just don't understand how you need to create an ordinance and there's already a state statute. Now, if you want to create a policy that says how much you charge and match it so that way people know what your costs are, you can do that. But I don't know why you need to pass an ordinance when there's already a state law or government code on it. It doesn't make any sense. It's already written. However, with what I do is protected by the Supreme Court. That's why I came down here to challenge it. If you notice, you guys have never seen me down here before. This is an important thing because, yes, he's right. Other agencies are doing it, and other agencies are getting hit with lawsuits. And guess who that affects? The taxpayer.
Okay,
So
well, I appreciate it. I'm gonna move on, but thank you.
I would just,
appreciate
my
that.
recommendation
Yeah.
is table it, get some more information, and then come back and, if you decide you want to do it again, then vote on it.
I will say this, I don't know how much income he gets from this. That could be a gray area. But it is clear an individual it applies to. It is clear that the Waco trip, it does not apply to. I don't know the facts. That will make a
Okay.
difference.
Okay,
Neil, do you feel like you need to do some more research on this before we pass it?
You can pass it and then we can figure out how to apply it because I don't know the facts of what he makes and whether that qualifies. And that's a question of law or fact question that'll have to be answered at some point. But the purpose behind this statute was to prevent cities from exactly getting overwhelmed with open records requests.
well,
especially
because a
small-
small town, we have very limited, we do not have many people. And I think, the concern is our city secretary being able to perform her duties also. So I think
Yes.
I know that we've talked about that. I mean, I'm gonna let y'all make the call. But, we just have to be careful. If we do it, we have to make sure, that we are who we charge and who we don't. So I don't know.
Everybody's charging for open meetings records. Small towns, big towns. Many cities have
Okay.
full
Well,
staffs of
Yeah.
people just to do that. That's coming out of the public's pocket. We need some way to say, if we've spent 8 hours, that's 8 hours of an employee's time.
I mean, y'all are the ones who vote. So I'm presenting the facts. I have our attorney here. I'm just presenting this to you. I wanted to hear Neil. I appreciate what you had to say to us. I need direction from y'all.
What this boils down to, it seems to me, is that this isn't gonna be decided until we decide to charge somebody. And courts may have to decide that. Is that the way I'm reading this correctly?
Well, it's, you know,
We'll follow the letter of the law.
Here we also have to.
I know, that's.
Pardon me.
I'm gonna let y'all make the comment. I've presented the facts, Mr. Purple, we've had, you know,
I'd like to know how you're proving that you are a representative of a big organization. Do they have LLCs? Do they have licensing?
and that's a
Because I know the
determination.
FCC issues license to all these people.
Well, if you
If
look
you're
at
an
the,
individual person, do you have to have some way of showing that you're a business? And do you
Well-
have to have a tax ID?
well, you're gonna have various ways to
Because
show.
somebody's making money from all this, so there should be some form of tax ID and tracking. If it's not an established business with any kind of license or anything, how do you know who's who?
I believe we ought to be compensated for the things we do, of course. But sounds like there's a lot of gray areas we need to look into.
Sounds good to me.
Personally,
What were you saying?
I don't know what
Well,
y'all think
there's a
about
whole
that.
list of exemptions and the entities that aren't included. And the problem is, so the entities that aren't included, are news medium, means a newspaper, magazine, or periodical, a book publisher, a news agency, a wire service, an FCC licensed radio or television station, or network of such stations, a cable, satellite, or other transmission system, or carrier, or channel of programming service for a station, network system, or carrier, or an audio or audiovisual production company, or internet company, or provider, or the parent subsidiary, and it goes on and on and on. And so the question is, and he's gonna, at some point, if we charge him, he's gonna protest it. And we're gonna have to see whether he qualifies as a
news media.
a news media or not. And just because the Supreme Court has ruled in one area that a news media, that he may qualify, it doesn't mean he's going to on this. And probably the AG's opinion, AG's office will, my advice would be, we're gonna write a letter to the AG's office, but it's gonna be fact specific, and that's what you do on an open records request to try to protect information. So I don't know why you wouldn't do it under this one. But the question is, I don't know whether he makes $1 a year or $100,000 a year, and I don't know if that qualifies as an income.
And that's the gray area.
Yes.
Right here, communication service provider has the means assigned by section 22.021.
Is
So
exempt.
they should be able to show us something under the civil practice and remedy scope to prove that you're something.
And I've not researched that.
If somebody comes in with that, and
So you haven't researched that yet.
No.
All right, I need a direction from the council. I've presented the facts, we've had, you know, we just need to have some direction.
I'm with Scooter, there's a lot of gray areas.
Lawsuits.
We do need
Before it
something
begins.
put in there,
Threatened
but
by
there is a lot
lawsuits.
of gray area.
Mm-hmm. Is it worth
That's
it?
it.
Okay, whatever y'all wanna do, I mean, I'm facilitating this, but we've gotta make a motion or, you know. Neil, what would you recommend?
I can see I'm going either way. I mean, I can go and by the next meeting, we can have some more information on this to see what qualifies. Or even if you pass it, I don't think there's any standing because until we know the facts, until he hits that limit, there's no,
But would it be better to table it? And
I would probably, I mean, you can
I mean,
table it, it's fine.
I don't think that we ought to pass something, you know, like, I mean,
Well,
and put it, you know,
no,
but,
no,
I mean, that's not gonna, we don't wanna,
The ordinance,
Right.
that's all we're doing, is legal.
right,
The question is, does it apply to certain individuals
Right.
or not?
but do you
And-
think maybe we should find that out before we,
That's fine.
I'm just presenting this to y'all. I'm trying to get all the facts. We spent a lot of time on this. I need somebody besides me to make a, Simone,
I make a motion to table it.
does anybody else, Kenneth, your thoughts? I'm gonna go around, cause this is a serious thing.
It's a serious step. I still think he's threatening us with these lawsuits. Cause he still hasn't showed any written proof that he is a communications media person.
Okay,
Most
so
people
you wanna go-
have their documents that they're an individual.
Right. Well, I mean, but we haven't really asked for them. So that's, have we, I'm just trying to get y'all to make a decision which way you're gonna go. Simone has made, we have a motion on the table. We have a motion, so we've gotta do something with that motion. Do I have a second or not a second?
I'll second.
Okay. A motion was made by Simone Johnson and seconded by Roger Lynch to table discussion, agenda item about the discussion about, charging, ordinances for request of public information.
Do we need to put that in that motion that Neil needs to do some more research on this?
Yeah, we can do follow-up on
We can do a follow-up, that doesn't have to go in the motion. The motion simply is, I've got a motion from Simone that we table it. I've got a second, so we have to carry this motion, I've got a second it by Roger Lynch. Okay, now, all in favor of tabling agenda item 3, charging for information, please signify by raising their right hand. Okay, all opposed? Okay, I have 3, Simone Johnson, Roger Lynch, and Wayne Taylor that voted to table agenda item 3, and I have 1 no from Kenneth Baldwin, about tabling it. So the ayes have it. We're gonna go on to the next item, which is agenda item 4. Discuss, consider, and act on resolution 2026-03-14, a resolution authorizing execution of an advance funding agreement, AFA, with the Texas Department of Transportation for State Highway 171, the downtown sidewalk project, which we have discussed on many occasions about. Okay, Jason, you wanna?
So it's just the resolution, you know, it's basically authorizing them for the downtown revitalization grant that we applied for and were awarded. So it's just moving forward with TXDOT.
Okay, so basically, it's the revitalization, we've already discussed it, we've already voted on it, this is just allowing us to move forward on this. Mhm.
They're ready to start.
Yes, sir.
So but we have to give them, this is the okay to start, is that correct?
This is approval to start.
Did they give you a start date then?
Last time I spoke with them, they was within a few weeks, so they just gotta get the resolution passed.
So probably by April 15th?
Somewhere around.
Okay.
All right.
Do I have, okay.
I'll make a motion that we act on the resolution 2026-03-14, a resolution authorizing execution of an advanced funding agreement, AFA, with the Texas Department of Transportation for the SH 171 downtown sidewalk project.
I'll second it.
A motion was made by Roger Lynch and seconded by Simone Johnson, to act on resolution 2026-03-14, which is executing the advanced funding agreement for the Texas Department for our downtown sidewalk project. All in favor, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Next, we're gonna have item number 5, to discuss, consider, and act on water supply contract with Post Oak Special Utility District, PWS number 1090030. I know we've got Mr. Vaughn, Mr. Feller. See how nice I'm calling you by your.
Yeah.
We appreciate y'all being here tonight.
Thank you.
It's not much discussion, it's, you know, y'all been provided copies of it, we, Accordingly, we have to have a secondary water supply, and until our secondary gets drilled and so forth. So,
You have to have it.
Well, yeah, it's got something we've gotta have, it's just a,
Okay, I make a motion to act on water supply contract with Post Oak Special Utility District PWS number 1090030.
motion was made by Simone Johnson and seconded by Roger Lynch, I almost called you Scooter. To pass the water supply contract with Post Oak Special Utility District, PWS number 1090030. All in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed? Okay, we have a 3-1 vote. Ms. Johnson, Mr. Lynch, Mr. Baldwin voted for the contract, and Mr. Taylor voted against it, so the ayes have it. We will continue our contract with Post Oak Special Utility District. Okay, action item 6, discuss, consider and act on resolution 2026-03-15, authorizing budget amendments to the 2025-2026 operating budget.
So basically what that entails is, early in the year, the city purchased new software and did a conversion thereof. And with the new software, there was some line items that were not on the old software that require budget amendments now to be put into the new software. So it's pretty self-explanatory.
So basically, it's more detailed.
This one.
Okay. So the software that we purchased is more detailed, and that's what he just wants to amend. I just need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we, consider and act on, resolution 2026-03-15, authorizing budget amendments to the 2025-26 operating budget.
Motion was made by Wayne Taylor and seconded by Roger Lynch to act on the resolution 2026-03-15, authorizing budget amendments to the 2025-2026 operating budget. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Number 8 is consider and act on financials for February 2026. Has everybody had time, should have had time to review the financials? No, oh, I skipped one, I'm sorry. I'm not perfect, well, almost. Consider and act on minutes of February 11th, 2026 and February 17th, 2026. Has everybody had time to review the minutes? And it's-
Anybody got any questions on
Do we have any additions, corrections, anything? Okay.
that? I'll make a motion that we act on minutes of February 11th, 2026 and February 17th, 2026.
I'll second it.
A motion was made by Wayne Taylor and seconded by Simone Johnson to accept the minutes of February 11th, 2026 and February 17th, 2026 as written. All in favor, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Now, we're gonna consider and act on financials for February 2026. I think everybody's had time to review the financials. Do we see anything out of the ordinary? Any red flags that we need to look at? Okay, I just need a motion.
Anybody got anything? Mom, you good?
Yeah, good.
I'll make a motion that we act on financials for February 2026.
I'll second.
A motion was made by Roger Lynch and seconded by Simone Johnson to, approve the financials for February 2026 as presented. All in favor, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Now we're gonna go into our monthly reports. Jason, City Manager and Police Department monthly report.
We'll go into your police department report. You have it there in front of you. You can see that there was 164 calls for service, and keep them more detailed out in your packets as usual. And all your traffic enforcements and so forth. Things are rolling very well with the police department. No reputable crimes to report this month. So police officers are doing an outstanding job. On the city side, we're progressively moving. The water project is coming along very nicely. Probably looking for on the furthermost northwest side of our community will be finished up probably this next week. And so we'll be going live on that side and moving over to the southern side, so.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, things are moving very well.
Yeah, I saw him working pretty hard today.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. Everybody be glad to have new pipes and,
Absolutely.
no, okay, well, that's good. Now, is that it for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna move on to the monthly report. Mr. Hawthorne.
Yes, good
What you
evening.
got for us today?
Very quick. Give you a handout of, this month's report. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Leave one for missing. Basically, our third Saturday food giveaway is still working well. This last month, we had 119 families, which have total households of 258 persons. And that 258 comes from whether you have one in a family to come, or whether you have two. Some people might have 10. That's how we get the number of how many people. A bunch of times people are just single people, so there'll always be one. But a bunch of times they might have 5 in the family. But it doesn't make a difference whether you got 5 in the family, whether you got 1 in the family, you still get the same amount of food, is what it's on. But anyway, that's what we had. I think food giveaway is April 18th. Normally we try to get there about 8:30, 9. We try to have everything out by 10:30. Hopefully, sometimes we do have a starting at 11 o'clock, but if the food's ready to go, we try to get it out before 11. Because I'm tired of people's Saturday weekends, I want to get them in, get them out, and get the people served, but people can still have time.
We're not doing one this weekend?
Yeah, April 18th.
March 21st.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. You know what?
I was wondering, I said, did we skip March, or did you have it early?
That's April. Hey, change that to, I'm sorry.
21st.
No, 21st.
That's a busy day. Okay.
April, and the next one after that is April 18th. Okay?
Gotcha.
You were just ahead of the game.
I was always planning, I'm always planning ahead, okay? It wasn't raining when no built the ark, so I always planned ahead. Okay? Okay? So we still need monthly volunteers and still need donations for those that want us to help support it. And one of the things that we did get a change, if you look on the back page of the handout, you'll see that TDA, Texas Department of Agriculture, changed that added some new rules that agencies cannot deny food to any individual for any reason if they qualify. So we can't pick and choose, whether I don't like this person, or you color your skin, or this color, whatever it is against the law, and put it in writing. They wanna make sure all the agencies are understanding that. I can't give this family more food than I have this family. It is against the law. So they put it in writing to make sure they will be going out to agencies, double checking that. Basically what we do, we give everyone the same amount. We have a sign-in sheet, we have a track and record of who it is, who sign-in sheets, the HC 155 forms, I document, I scan them in, I keep the documentation, right? But it is something that they, evidently must have been happening somewhere for them to come out and
So
send
you
that out.
can't check zip codes or anything, it doesn't matter what town they come from.
It doesn't matter zip codes.
Okay, well, I mean,
In some areas, maybe we're doing that food by zip codes. You have to live in a certain zip code.
Right, but now
Ours-
you can't do that anymore.
Okay, ours is just whoever comes, so most of the people around Hubbard Malone area, wherever it is, and have excess left over, then, try to send it out to the school, we try to do something with it to be able to help somebody, right? And that's all I have. If anyone have any questions?
No, sir.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, Larry.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have our fire.
We had 35 calls for the month. We had 1 structure fire. We had 8 grass fires. One of them was 40 acres, which had multiple units helping. We had a commercial vehicle fire. We had 2 MVCs with plus 3 patients per each one, and 4 air medical transfers. Rest is just medical costs.
Can I just say a real quick thing? We are so very lucky to have our fire department. I mean, I'm gonna match our volunteer fire department with everyone around. They are so busy, so I'm gonna give you a big.
We work very closely with Penelope and Mount Calm. We're
Yes.
just one big unit.
Well,
And we
it's,
cover the whole southeast part of the county.
I mean, it's, we are truly, truly blessed, and I don't say that enough, but I just wanna put that in there.
We're busy Sunday.
And secondly, before we adjourn, thank you all for coming. Please, we want people here. We don't want people to have to say, he said, come, listen to what we have to say. We're always welcome. Jason's door's open. My door's slightly open. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But anyway, whatever you need, let us know. Thank you. Do I have anything else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
A motion, that was quick. A motion was made by Simona Johnson and seconded by Roger Lynch to adjourn. All in favor, signify by raising the right hand. All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you again for coming. Appreciate it. Neil, thanks so much for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Would you like a card? What's going on, brother? You want a card?
Yes, sir. Good man.
I know you hit me up earlier, so. Yeah, that's for her. What's up, buddy? How you doing? You want a card? I told you to be here. Hey, send me a copy. What you do? I'm gonna put it on YouTube and Facebook when I chop it up. For the uncut, I'm probably gonna put it up on YouTube. When I chop this up, it's gonna go on Facebook like I did with the last one. Because I got a lot more stuff in the files. They're trying to stop me from getting more. Hey, Miss Diana, it's a pleasure to meet you finally. You're not getting mad that I'm bogging you down, right? I haven't sent a request in a while. It's been at least a week.
I can sleep now.
You never had to get right on them.
But I wanted to because I talked.
Well, then you need to tell them that because Jason's retaliating. Jason's retaliating. He didn't like me when I came in here 9 months ago and had him on a live stream. He don't even remember that. Right there.
I'd rather you come into that than look at anything.
That's too much work. Sir, look, if you'd like to have a conversation, I read up on that lawsuit because I had to go look at it. And if you look at it, the Supreme Court, because I have a network, it's not like I just popped it up overnight, you know what I mean? I've been doing this for over 2 years.
Okay, I mean,
So-
if you tell me which case to look at, I'll be glad to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, the Supreme Court is just social media because I just got chief of police that blocked me from Facebook. It literally social media I think it's 24 is when they started ruling on things like the social media stuff as being journalists. Independent because like you said, FCC. Look, man, I ain't got an FCC. I do operate under an LLC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been doing that for over 2 years, and I get paid through YouTube and Facebook to my LLC. So
Okay,
it's,
well, if you'll send me the Supreme Court.
and I got no problem with passing the ordinance, but the problem is, with passing the ordinance, they don't know what the gray area and the exemptions are.
You're right. All right.
Mr. Baldwin, how you doing, sir? No hard feelings. You can shake my, give you a card. Oh, okay. No, he don't like me. Nah, he's... With being a public official, he's pretty rude. Yep. Him and Jason are now getting investigated. Cool. Have a nice night, sir. Best thing to do is stay off the radar and be polite, like Officer Lynch and Captain over here. Best thing to do is less is more, right?
Thank you for your comments.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm an open book.
Ma'am, look, I am just trying to
No,
make sure it's
I-
done right. That's all I'm doing, okay?
I'm an open book.
Now, you don't vote on a lot of things, but there are some conflicts of interest involving your nephew in this deal.
But I don't vote.
I know you don't vote, so the conflict of interest needs to be, you need to have one on file.
Okay.
But you're not voting on anything, so
No.
therefore it's not.
No.
Walk around.
No.
Oh, you're more than welcome to walk around. Would you like a card, sir?
No, thank you.
Oh, at least he was polite about it. The other guy wasn't, but you were polite. Appreciate that, sir.
Well, I'm an open book. I've been here.
Viewer, look, so the way I was trying to explain that is you could pass the ordinance, but there's no point because the law is already clear.
And
The law's already there.
No,
However, the interpretation of me being a journalist with my social media ruled by the Supreme Court has said that is media.
let me just tell you, I better get an invitation to that wedding. Hey, tell him that I thought I was gonna sing.
Would you like a card?
Oh, no.
Tell him that
Watchdog haters here.
Bye, my love.
No, not haters, just
Okay.
wished you would print facts.
Hey, would you tell him
Got all my
that,
facts from the
tell
city.
him that I am planning to sing at his wedding and just want to know, so anybody, tell him I want to know.
So the documentation I get from the city of Hubbard is not proof? It's not facts?
You haven't proven it, you haven't posted it.
It's proof, it's just you're not smart enough to read it. I got you. No, obviously not. Yes, I have. I've got files. Ask the reason with her, because she ain't gonna listen to what I say. Sorry, let me get out of your way, sir.
Move out of the door, please, sir.
What I put out there and what the files say, that's factual enough, ma'am. I have. I put a link to it. If you don't read and you don't click on the link and go to the files, I can't help that. If you refuse to read, I can't comprehend it. I can't comprehend it for you, ma'am. Let me get out of your way. I'm sorry.
Twist everything.
I don't twist anything, ma'am.
Yeah, you do. You twist it.
I twist in everything.
Jumble everything.
Really? Really? How do I twist it?
Well, for one, you used GPT.
Oh, you know, I actually have to put my stuff into ChatGPT. So everything that I put in there, I put all my information on what I write. I put all the documentation to verify what I write. ChatGPT did not do it for me. It's not artificial. It's a tool that I use to write.
I got my green sweater.
Obviously, you don't understand how it works.
Don't say anything about my hair being long. My niece wanted to cut it. I said, I think it looks fine long.
Can't help the uneducated. Not you. I'm not talking to you.
I am
And
educated.
that's all you do is stand around and bash people. You talk about other people bashing people. That's what you do.
No, because you over here bashing me in another way, saying it's not
I
factual.
didn't say you were uneducated. I haven't.
And you said I'm not factual, that I'm a liar.
Not factual.
Who are you?
That's not bashing.
Who are you?
That's not bashing you.
Who are you? You already know who I am.
That's not bashing you. I just said you post opinions.
No, they're not opinions. They are facts, backed by documentation from the city. Ask Miss Diana.
You call everybody names. If somebody disagrees
Really?
with you, you call
As
them
Jason
names.
Patrick calls me a maniac on social media, I didn't start that.
You call everybody bootlickers.
Well, that's because you are. Hey, look where you're standing, next to the cop. Just get on your knees, lick the boot.
Sorry. God dang.
Just get over there and lick his boots, because he can't do nothing wrong.
I'm so sorry.
Just like you're protecting everybody here, ma'am. I'm not a cop hater. I've complimented him. He didn't do anything wrong. He hasn't said anything to me.
All right, let me sign.
I actually complimented him. I said less was more. You know, I mean, and the other guy that
So
was
you
in
want to
there.
call me a bootlicker because I'm standing right there?
No, it's because your attitude, and then you go stand over
My
there.
attitude?
Yes, ma'am. You have an attitude.
You asked me if I wanted your card. I said no, thank you.
And I didn't
you
comment
said,
on that,
"Oh,
and I
you're
didn't-
a Watchdog hater.
Oh, well, that's because like 4 different people came out here with attitudes like that when the way you said it. It was the way you said
Because
it.
of the stuff
It's,
you're
ma'am,
stirring up.
it's like have a blessed day.
It's the stuff you're
Blessed, be
stirring
blessed, or
up.
however it is when you're insulting someone. That's kind of how you did it. All right, Jason. Hey, it's a pleasure meeting you again.
Absolutely.
Got any comment about that Lake One deal?
Not right now, but I'd be more happy to sit down with you. So,
Well, we've been trying for weeks.
no, you haven't.
I've asked Ron to get with you on that, so.
Well, unfortunately, Ron hasn't. But I tell you what, though, Ron did call me today. And
Okay.
We had a pretty nice conversation.
Okay. So when are we agreeing to do that?
I'll check the schedule and let you know.
You gonna get with me? Because, I mean, you have my information, correct?
No, sir, I don't.
I've sent you a couple emails with my contact information on there.
To where?
The manager at Hubbard TX. Diana has it.
I went to-
I leave my address and phone number on every request.
Okay.
I mean,
We'll be in touch.
I'm not scared.
Whatever said you had a reason.
I'm just
to be
saying, I
scared.
got no scared to give out my contact information. Calm down. Simmer down, Jason. Simmer down.
Tyranny, corruption, extortion. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. BZ Watchdog News Network. BZ Watchdog.